Hello, everybody. This is Martin John, and I'm here with Tao of the Day. It is just about 11 o'clock in the late morning here just outside of Chicago in Hammond, Indiana. And I am looking forward to talking with you about the Tao of the Day. The Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written about 600 BCE and contains a lot of enigmatic wisdom all about how to live a more reasonable life. What we mean by more reasonable is always remembering that we're not going to ask anything to change for us. What is, and we're going to accept what is and be able to surrender to it. Once again, that doesn't mean submit to it. That doesn't mean we want to submit to the things that are around us, but we want to surrender to the fact that they are as they are. Once we do that, we can act as we need to, whether we walk away from something, engage in something, or whatever it is we're going to do, we want to be able to do from a reasonable standpoint. If somebody does something and their actions hurt you in some way, well, we have to recognize that they are free to do those things. It is not, even if they have promised us that they wouldn't, it's not the case that they can't or they won't. And it's possible they will. And when we live reasonably, we don't have to judge them for the actions that they take, and we can allow them to live the lives that they want to. It's oftentimes we don't want to be told what to do, but we very quickly want to tell others what to do. And so, putting that into perspective and being able to kind of live in line with Tao. Tao has been referred to as the way of living, the way of nature, right? Like if a bird is flying about and doesn't find food, well, then it's going to starve. Well, it's not going to complain that food isn't available. There is food everywhere, and go and find it. And that's what we have to do, right? We currently live in a society that praises money and productivity as it seems is productive, and still there are people that live outside of that, and there are people that live very happily without having to engage in that, and they live more reasonably than those who try and live their lives in line with someone else. I always look at that as being living under the influence, right? You live under the influence of the systems that you're brought up in. You live under the influence of the ideas of your parents. You live under the influence of the ideas of the education system. If you have so much education, you'll have a better job. And then so many people, they don't have better jobs, even though they have crippling debt from their schools, and they still believe in the system. It's really difficult to live under the influence of something and then then complain that it's not fair. Well, you have decided to live under the influence of that, so it's only as fair as you let it be. So yeah, like the Tao really looks at like, how can we not be living under the influence? How can we live in accordance with nature, and how can we be at bliss in this moment, no matter what it is? I mean, at the moment, I am still experiencing numbness from a flare-up of my MS, and to be honest, I would like to see it. I would like to see my feeling return, but I've already come to grips with the idea. Okay, well, I just got to get used to the fact that this is numb, and then recognizing where it's numb is important, and recognizing what that numbness feels like, and being able to just, well, this is just what it is right now. No judgment on it. It's not good or bad. It just is as it is, and here I am experiencing it. So if you're interested in picking a number between 1 and 81 and would like to chat a little bit about the Tao, so the way this works, if you don't know what Tao of the Day is you pick a number. I'll read it to you, and then we'll go through it line by line. You'll give me some ideas about what you think about it as a whole, and then as we go through it line by line, you will you'll get a little more insight. Maybe we'll find a way that it relates directly to you and the work that you're doing in your life right now. So I'm going to randomly just sort of scroll through and pick one. Here I am at number 48, The More You Know. Pursuing knowledge you accumulate daily, turning your true nature into a commodity. Pursuing Tao you unburden daily, allowing your true nature to guide you. Oh, Marcy's coming up. The master unburdens herself again and again, diminishing, releasing, and deprogramming, until finally there is nothing left to be. When there is nothing to be, there is nothing to do, and everything gets accomplished regardless. There is something I want to come back to on this, but I'm going to pick up Marcy, and we're going to see what number she has, and then we can continue looking at 48 after that. Marcy,
Hey,
how are you, dear?
good. How are you?
I am well. To hear you, I have a warmness all down my spine
I
since
was just
you came.
feeling the same thing.
Oh,
And I was
I,
coming up to tell you, Martin John, I missed you. And then I was speechless once you said my name. So
oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
good. It's good to have you here.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah, I'm just here living. How are
Are
you
we
doing?
just living? Are we just living? We're ethereal beings, Martin John, you and I. There's so
That's
few
true.
of us. There's so
Yeah,
many good
yeah,
people, but there's so few of us.
yeah. No, I have a friend of mine, Rebecca, and we talk about this idea that we're not human. We're not
Yeah.
we're not we're not that. Like we're something, but we're not that. And we're always kind of like just being able to be like, hey, my fellow non-human.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Oh
yeah.
God. I could go down a rabbit hole with you about that, but I'll wait for another day because
Okay.
somebody asked me how I identify recently because I've got a daughter who's trans,
Yeah.
and I said I I identify as Marcella,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And they were so insulted by that.
Yeah. And that, and that's the thing. We can be insulted by anything. And if we
Hmm.
can be insulted by how another person identifies, and it's like, wait, you have to live in the box that I live in. I live in a box of having to identify as something explicitly. And it's like, yeah, well,
Yeah, no,
good luck with that. I want you
exactly.
to be in that box until you are done
Enjoy
with
your
it.
box.
And when you're done with it, I want you to be able to walk away from it rather than, plant your flag. Because so many people plant their flag with their identities and then try and hold on to their identities long after they're done serving.
It's sad. It's really sad. And when we say that, oh, go live in your box. I don't live in a box. I don't think I
Hmm.
can be contained.
Right, you can't.
Yeah.
Right, like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like, I interviewed this guy, and this quote just constantly comes up. This a really dear friend of mine, Alan Baker, and he said, "Society wants to define you so you can put you in a box. You can't ever fit into a box. Nobody can. And if you if you try to fit yourself in a box, then you're going to find it painful to keep yourself within it. And every time you try and hold back to keep yourself and others within the box that you live in, you're just going to be experiencing discomfort and pain.
Wow. I don't even know how to respond to that.
And
That guy.
we were talking about the trans identity, and he said, like, eh, you know going through transition, no matter what it is, no matter what sort of transition it is, but when we talk about gender, going through that transition, of course, it is going to be an awakening and powerful experience no matter what.
Right.
But, you know, define your gender however you want, but don't identify with any of it. You don't have to identify as this or that. You can just be you, you know,
Oh, there you go.
and it doesn't matter. If you want other people to see you as a specific gender, of course, identify or define yourself in that way, and that's perfectly good. But you know and in the end, he was just like, because, like, ultimately being trans isn't that interesting. It's like, is that all you are? Because and he likened it in a very loving way to, like, the person who goes skydiving. It's like, I went skydiving one day, right? Like, and it's like, yeah, but in 20 years you're not going to be the guy who went skydiving. It's like, who
Exactly. Oh
cares? Like,
God.
that's not interesting. It's not who you are. It was just a blip in your life that you had to go through. And now, who are you?
That's
because
it.
you're not your
That's
gender.
it. I don't want to derail the conversation, but that's it. It's my daughter didn't know how to come to me. She was 18 and she said, I'm non-binary. And I said, I don't care. You're still my
Yeah.
child. I don't care what you
Yeah.
are. Be my child. That's what
Like,
you are.
okay,
Be
what do you
my
want for dinner?
child.
That's what I
Yeah,
asked.
and be you. And then, she looked so sad and I said, it's not that I don't care, but I want you to be happy. And
Right.
whatever you decide you are, mom loves you because I'm still
Yeah.
mom
Right.
and
Yeah.
you're still my child without label, without, you
Yeah.
know, having to identify your gender or what have you.
Yeah.
And then years later, she came out as trans, and it bothered me she couldn't tell me.
Right.
And I said, why not? I'm still mom, and we've had this growth since then, the two of us, where I saw her. I just love you. It
Right.
doesn't have to do with anything else. I just love you. And people say, so kind of you to accept your child. I didn't have a choice.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
My
You mean when
child.
they were born? Because that's when it happened.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I said, well, I didn't have a choice. This was the child that I received, and this is the child that I love. There
Right.
was never a choice.
That's
Because that
right.
was the other thing. Oh, you're choosing to accept. No,
What?
there's no choice.
Oh,
Yeah. And with the trans community, I hear this often, people, oh, you're choosing this, you're choosing that. No, I'm not. I'm loving my child,
right.
period. And giving my child what she needs.
And there's no
She needs
condition to
mother's
that
love. No,
love. Right. There's
there's
no
none.
condition to that.
But everyone comes from that vein of loving conditionally, even though they say, I love you unconditionally, but, well, now you've just negated that.
Right. Yeah.
So I
Right.
identify as
That,
Marcella,
that's right. Yeah.
and I don't even
And
feel human.
whatever comes up tomorrow that I identify with is going to be what it is, and that's it. It
That's it.
doesn't have anything to do
That's it.
with me creating an identity that I have to hold on to tomorrow.
Exactly.
Because if
Right.
I have to hold on to my identity tomorrow, I might not be that, and all of a sudden I have to either quote unquote course correct and then go through a loss and go through a change and go through
No,
a
that's
transition,
insane.
or I can just wake up and be who I am.
Uh, yes, you're Martin John,
That's right.
and I'm Marcella,
Yeah.
and you call me Marcy, and we leave
Thank
it
you.
at that. And I do,
Good.
and that's the end of that.
Oh, and I love you. So let's find a number today.
28.
28.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
why. Just 28.
Well, 28 is entitled Knowing Depth in the Shallow.
Oh, God. Okay.
This is a funny one. Know the world through the masculine, but access your power through the feminine. In this way, you will be open to receive. If you can receive, then your actions will support. They will never be forced, and you will be innocent. Know the world through the light, but connect to it within the dark. In this way, you will be open to the truth. If you can see the truth, manifestation will not fool you. It will fall away and nothing will elude you. Know the world through the particular, but know there is no particular here. In this way, you will accept all things. If you can accept all things, you will be a beacon. You will that will guide you and all beings back to source. The manifestation was formed from the void. The master knows the manifestation. It stays focused on the void within it. That is how she uses all things.
Hmm. I think it bears repeating, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to read it again.
Thank you.
Know the world through the masculine, but access your power through the feminine. In this way, you will be open to receive. If you can receive, then your actions will support. They will never be forced, and you will be innocent. Know the world through the light, but connect to it within the dark. In this way, you will be open to the truth. If you can see truth, manifestation will not fool you. It will fall away, and nothing will elude you. Know the world through the particular, but no, there is no particular here. You will accept all things. If you can accept all things, it will be a beacon that will guide you and all beings back to source. The manifestation was formed from the void. The master knows the manifestation, yet stays focused on the void within it. That is how she uses all things.
Wow.
You know, some of the things that really are powerful in this is this idea of like, you're fooled by the manifestation, right?
Yeah.
But if you know the world through the light, but connect to it within in this way, you will be open to the truth of all things. You won't just see something and be like, no, you are a woman and you have to be a woman to me and I have to identify you as that. And it's like, no, 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 no. The truth is beyond that. If you can see the truth, then manifestation, how things appear, will not fool you. It will fall away and nothing will elude you. Then you will not have to, like, then you can love all things. It won't elude you. It won't fool you. You won't be kind of dragged across the surface with all of these desires to understand.
Martin John, I I've been looking for new outlets for my students, and I never even considered the Tao. Like I don't look at it unless you're here, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And today I woke up with this feeling I had to release more of my childhood trauma on my own this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and it I can't tell you how you're always in the right place at the right time for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was releasing the negative, toxic vitriol that my parents had for the world,
Mm-hmm.
towards the world, you know?
Yeah.
And my mother couldn't look at another woman without criticizing her, whether it be her body, her hair, her face, nothing.
Right.
And, you know, when you're young, you fall into those traps, those
Mm-hmm.
routines, those patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered looking at someone's picture this morning, and the first thing that popped in my head was a criticism. And I said, "Shut up, Mom."
Yeah.
And I said, "She's a beautiful person, period."
Mm-hmm.
And I reminded myself this morning that I'm me and I'm not her.
Yeah.
And I get to love people the way that I love them.
You know, and when we look at that, like, that is the darkness because that's unknown.
Mhm.
You know, because that is the unknown within you. Because you know your mom's actions and you know
Yes.
how your mom showed you how to, and you know how you learned how to interact with other people. And so that's the light that was lit for you by
Yeah.
someone else. And so as you lived your life, you went down this lit path. But now you have to turn into the darkness of the unknown, and that unknown is actually who you are. That's that unexplored avenues of you. And as it says here, in this way you will be open to the truth. And if you can see the truth, manifestation will not fool you. It will fall away. The manifestation will fall away and nothing will elude you, and you'll be able to love all things equally without condition.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's a journey. Like
It is.
I'm on the same journey, you know.
Helped me
Like,
so much all the time.
oh, well, you know,
You're, you're my
I
good
am
friend.
well, I am grateful for giving that praise, but it's all you. It's always been you. You know, like everything you experience is just is you. And I am being supported as part of the gift of your life. And you're being supported as the gift as part of the gift of mine.
You are a gift.
Oh, my dear. So you just dropped off. I know that there's a glitch with timing and stuff. I don't know if you. Okay, yeah, there you are. I don't know how it all works because when you come on, it's supposed to be 15 minutes, but it's always like 13:50 or something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
had this
Yeah,
problem a couple of days ago
13:52.
too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. finish up, and then I'll leave you to your
Yeah. And I'm
morning.
gonna
And
go
I'll,
back to 48.
40,
So
which I was listening to. Yes, that one seemed pretty profound for me today as well.
yeah, so this one, as it continues,
Mhm.
know the world through the particular, but know there is no particular here, right? Like like that's very much like we were talking about with your daughter, where it's just like, I'm trans. Well, that's just a particular. There's no particular here. Like, I love you. Like,
That's
you're
it.
not a you're not, there's nothing particular. You are perfect. Just here, being as you are in this moment. There's no particular here. In this way, when you can recognize there's nothing particular, you will accept all things, no matter what. Like, why wouldn't you accept your daughter? Why wouldn't you accept your child? Like, of course you're going to accept your child. If you can accept all things, you be a beacon that will guide you and all beings back to source. And that's the thing, when you just allow all things to be as they are. I know lots of people want to use scare tactics of like, well, what if somebody wants to be like a perp, or what if somebody wants to prey on other people? And it's like, well, if people are free to be who they are, they won't. It's when people are hiding who they are that those things come out, because they don't know the world. They don't know themselves in the world. They are hiding, and they are pacifying, and they are trying to, wield power over others. And when they realize that they are the others that they are trying to wield power over, then they take care of themselves.
Then we can take care of each other.
That's right. And that's all it
Yeah.
is, right? When
Yeah.
when you care for yourself, you are able to love others more deeper. When you don't care for yourself, you'll all of a sudden have all of this judgment. You have all of this hate. You have all of this fear. You have all of these things because you're not taking care of yourself. And those other people that you're judging are little parts of yourself that you're seeing and you're perceiving.
I am going to find this number 28 and read it to my students tonight at our meeting.
I'll send you this
Please.
because this is my version.
Okay.
Other versions will say the same thing, but I think my version just expresses it better.
And yeah, no, you get me, I get you. So
Yeah,
yes, it
yeah,
works better that way for me. Thank you, if
yeah,
you wouldn't
absolutely.
mind.
Yeah, no, I'll
Okay.
send it right over. Absolutely.
My love. Thank you.
I
And
love
thank you for
you.
being here this morning for everyone. I love you. I'm gonna
Oh.
drop down now and hopefully
Yeah,
someone I want to
absolutely.
listen though. I want to hear 48. All right,
Yeah, I'm gonna
sweetheart.
go. All
Thank you
right,
again. All right.
absolutely. So I'm gonna go ahead and read 48 one more time, and then we'll start kind of looking at this. And this is going to be my number for today. And so, pursuing knowledge you accumulate daily, turning your true nature into a commodity. Pursuing Tao, you unburden daily, allowing your true nature to guide you. The master unburdens herself again and again, diminishing, releasing, and deprogramming, until finally there is nothing left to be. When there is nothing left to be, there is nothing to do when everything gets accomplished regardless. This is funny as I am, you know, dealing with a slight flare up of my MS and all of this right now, right? So, pursuing knowledge you accumulate daily, turning your true nature into a commodity. Let's break that down. We went through the information age, right? Where everybody has information and information is worth, like money, and everybody's kind of utilizing what they know as a commodity, right? You have information, and now you're going to turn it into a commodity. You're going to sell your information. Others are going to make, certificates, and you're going to make classes and courses and all of these things. I mean, I've even done it, but pursuing knowledge you accumulate daily, turning your true nature into a commodity. Your true nature is now for sale. Your true nature is now something that you can, just put on the market. And what you're doing is accumulating daily. So you're carrying all this stuff going, oh, where's my book? Where's my book? I got to write a book. I got to make a course. I got to write a book. I got to make a course. I got to write a book. Like all these fools out there, right? Writing books, making courses, making like podcasts. Like, I got all this information. I'm so awesome. Like, like you're not so special. None of us are, right? Like, you're not a commodity. You are you. And that's it. And what you know isn't so special. And a lot of people want to think that what they know is special. But who you are is what's special, right? So pursuing Tao, you unburden daily, allowing your true nature to guide you, right? So you pursue Tao, drop all this idea of like having to acquire knowledge, and you unburden daily. You let go. You let go of more and more. You let go of your ability to know. You let go of your need to know. You let go of your need to understand. You let go of your need to control. You let go of it all. Let go, let go, let go. And allow your true nature to guide you. So when you wake up in the morning, you just ask your true nature, what am I doing? Maybe you have a routine and you go through your routine just so you don't get into the mode of having to think in the morning, right? Because you don't have to think. You can just be here and accept what is and look out the window until whatever needs to take place takes place. Whatever you need to do just arises naturally. Trust me, if you think that you are going to sit on your ass forever and never feel uncomfortable with that, you're mistaken. Now, you can sit on your ass and pacify and eat. And, that's the thing. When people sit and watch TV and they get sick of sitting and watching TV, what they do is they get up and get food. So they can sit, watch TV, and eat food. And then when that's not enough, they sit, watch TV, eat food, and smoke. And when that's not enough, they sit, watch TV, eat food, smoke, and drink. And when that's not enough, they'll do more and more and more. And they keep piling it up. But each one of these is a pacifier that you'll have to address at some point. But the thing is can you just sit? Don't turn on the TV. Don't pick up the food. Don't pick up the cigarettes. Don't pick up the pot or whatever it is you use to pacify. Don't pick up the alcohol and just sit. And when you're uncomfortable, ask yourself why. Right? Pursuing Tao, you unburden daily rather than sitting here and go, I have to acquire some knowledge. I need to be able to turn on the news and know what's happening in the world and tell everybody that they're wrong for not doing what they're supposed to be doing in my mind or whatever. No, just sit. And then eventually you're going to find yourself washing the dishes or washing the floor or doing something because something needs to be done. The master unburdens herself daily, again and again. Diminishing, releasing, and deprogramming. Here's the thing, diminishing, right? What are you diminishing? Diminishing your ego. Releasing the need to go do things, and deprogramming from the influences that you've picked up around the world, throughout your life. Until doing all of those things, until finally there is nothing left to be. I don't have to be anything. I don't have to be right. I don't have to be wrong. I don't even have to be a mom, or I don't have to be a dad, or I don't have to be a brother. I don't have to be good, or I don't have to be bad. I'm just here. I've let go of all the programming. I've released all my needs, and I've diminished my ego. And here, nothing to be. When there's nothing to be, there is nothing to do. And so you're not going to keep telling yourself, oh, I better watch the news, or I better do this, or I better pacify, or I better get something done, or I got to, I'm beating myself up because I'm supposed to be doing something. And then the last line here, everything gets accomplished regardless. The thing is when you become comfortable with your discomfort and you start to listen to the subtle energy of your life, you will be guided to do things. But those things won't be being done because you are driven to collect knowledge. They'll be done because they need to be done. And they will be in line with everything else in the universe. And you will be peaceful. And you will be at peace and blissful in your life. And that's how it works. So it's not about knowing stuff. It's about releasing. It's about letting go. And when you can let go, deprogram, and diminish, then you'll finally be guided to do what is natural in your life. So that's number 48. And that's really good for me today because like trying to, this is something that I've been really working at since my flare up has come up. And because of that, because I'm kind of dealing with those things, I'm really trying to let go and receive. And maybe this flare up is going to be permanent, and that's okay. Like, no matter what it is, even if it was motor function loss, it'd be okay because I can release the desire for having the ability to walk for the rest of my life or whatever it would be. Of course, I'm not going to invite that in. I'm going to do everything I can to grow, but whatever nature gives me, I'm going to receive. I want to thank Marcy for coming up and picking 28. That was a beautiful conversation. I appreciate you and love you so much. I want everybody else to know that out to you. I appreciate you and what you do. If you have a number between 1 and 81, you can come up before I sign out, but I'll be signing out shortly. This is Martin John. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you benefit from the work I do here, you can always send a tip over at Venmo at @MartinJohn_Garcia. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.